Hey everyone. So I really felt called to come and do a video today because things are really intense right now in terms of our relationship in the mass with everyone around us. There's totally two sides that we're seeing play out in this narrative. There's the side where there's fear. There's a lot of fear. Those are the people that are walking around with a mask on. Those are the people that are like freaking out about going into a public place or wanting mandatory vaccinations because they think that it's going to keep everyone safe. They think that's how you move forward and not have to worry about, like everyone getting sick in society and all these. It's a bunch of fear that's being spread through the media. I mean, when you have doctors everywhere just coming out saying, this isn't what they're saying it is, this isn't what they're saying it is, and then those people are censored, you have to start raising that red flag. But you have this camp over here that's sitting in fear, and then you have this camp over here that's like, hey guys, can we not let them strip us of every freedom, every human right, that our birthright, that when you're born on this earth, your basic human rights, like you can't just force somebody to have a needle shoved into their arm, or like, it's so much more beyond that. It's about the programming. It's like the same people who have the mask on are the people who are the most programmed, and nobody wants to hear that who's wearing a mask because they feel like they're doing the right thing. And I'm not saying they're doing the wrong thing. They're at where they're at on their journey. But what I am saying is, like, when you choose to wear a mask, you're choosing to, cover your face, censor yourself. There's so much symbolism in it. It's like you're choosing that 3D timeline. You're choosing old, stale programming that never worked to begin with. You just want things to go back to normal. Wear a mask, we'll all get vaccinated, and everything's going to go back to normal. But there is no more back to normal. Like, there is no back to normal. And it's like they can't let go of the old things that don't serve them because it's like their ego is trying to keep them safe. Like, this is how we've done things. It's kept me safe before. It doesn't matter if this job doesn't make me happy or this relationship. It's what makes me feel like I have my life together. It's what makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. It doesn't matter if I don't feel good if I don't feel good at my job, or if I don't feel good in my own home, in my own relationship, in my relationship with my family, or certain people in my life I just can't set a proper boundary with. It's just these old things. It's all tied in. You can tie it right in with the pandemic, and you can see these parallels of habits and programming in the same people who have a mask on. It's like the same people who are clinging on to like 3D. They're clinging on to materialism. They're clinging on to like, why would I leave this job that pays me over 6 figures to live a simple life where I can actually spend time with my family every day and not just live for the weekends or a couple really fancy vacations a year? It's like, can you really wrap your head around like what you value in life? Do you value your time, like your time that you get to spend with people that you care about, or even with yourself, doing hobbies, getting out into nature, like really getting to know what you actually like to do? Do you even know what you like to do? Or have you been so programmed that you think like that your job that you don't even like, that you'd rather be doing something else, is like more important than your own happiness? But you're so programmed, you're blind to it. You think that you're successful. You think that you're succeeding. When you're succeeding, it's because that you feel happy, joyful, love on a moment-to-moment basis. That is what succeeding in life is. And if you keep trying to reach for these external things like material things, relationship, status, checking all the boxes off of, achieving all your degrees in school. Like, it's just, you could just make a laundry list of things of external things that try to validate your ego to make you feel like you're worth something in life. People are walking around with like thinking that they really love themselves. And it's because they've done all these things. It's because they've been validated externally by all these things. But on the inside, they're empty as fuck. They're empty because they don't even understand what success really is. They don't understand that, like, why I keep getting more, I keep getting the house, the car, I keep achieving all these things that I think I have worked so hard to achieve, but I feel the same. You're taking yourself with you everywhere you go. You buy the new car, you get excited, that honeymoon phase. It's always a honeymoon phase with like external validation. So you'll get the car or the house and you'll be really excited, but that shit wears off quick. And then you're sitting in the big ass house and you're like, wow, I still feel the same. You're still carrying the same vibration because that's what you're a vibrational match to. Like that feeling inside of yourself. And what you don't realize is like the true success is how you feel. And how you feel has nothing to do with material things. But when you learn how to raise your vibration in a healthy way by actually like healing yourself, that's when you start to manifest things, and it feels really good when it comes and it actually stays because you've raised your vibration. You're healing those wounds that make you reach for things externally. You're healing those wounds that are like, what am I going to do if I don't find this perfect relationship? What am I going to do if I don't get this house that I think that I want? But what you think you want when you're an unhealed person isn't what your true self really wants. And that's why it's so confusing, because you're programmed to think you want things. You're watching commercials all the time. You're seeing reality TV. You're seeing these people play these roles on Facebook. People you know, people on TV, seeing them play roles, thinking that's what you want. When every time the door closes, they're unhappy too. They're also unhappy. And you look around you and there's very few people where you can actually be in their presence and feel their true happiness because they've achieved that. They're few and far between, but you know it when you feel it when you're sitting next to somebody like that. You don't see a mask that they wear. You see them resonating with their own life. You see them like not worried that tomorrow's Monday. I don't even know what the fuck day of the week it is 99% of the time, and that was before the pandemic because my life hasn't changed very much. I can't go to the gym or like different public places. That's the only thing that's really changed about my life. I was always cooking. Like, I'm not worried about, I never went out to eat anyways. Like, most of that stuff is processed anyways. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad to go out to eat, but my point is like being simple. Why do you struggle so much financially? Because you're always reaching for these things and spending money on things that you don't need. Why do you need a brand new truck when you could get a truck? Like, if you're just starting out and figuring this stuff out and trying to get on your feet, like, you have to understand that simplicity will carry you so far. And when you can find joy and happiness and love in the simple things, the universe will start helping. It will start co-creating with you to manifest this beautiful life. And I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, okay, I was in a situation where I went all through college and then I decided to have babies and then I didn't go to school. I haven't been working or in school for like a decade to raise my kids and stuff, right? A little less than a decade. And I was like, oh my God, I'm unhappy. I have no money, no job experience, because I was fresh out of college when I started having kids. What the hell am I going to do? You know what? The easy thing that I could have done that my ego wanted me to do is just stay in my marriage and use my kids as an excuse to stay, even though I'm representing them what an unhealthy relationship looks like. Even though I'm unhappy, I'm showing my children that it's okay to stay in a relationship you're not happy in, because it's the right thing to do. That's what we're conditioning our kids to be, the same way we are. You're a product of your environment. You're a product of the vibrational frequency that you're around. If you're in the house arguing with your spouse all the time and you think that because your kids didn't hear the argument, they don't feel that energy in the house, you're on something. They for sure feel that energy. And it's like people are still hanging on when they know, if something is right for you, if it resonates. Does it resonate? Does it feel good? Does it make you feel good? Does the way you parented your child make you feel good? Maybe there's certain things you have to work on so you can bring more patience into that relationship. I mean, you can literally be this observer and put yourself up here and just watch yourself. Become aware of the things, these patterns that you've been groomed into through our culture and this programming. It holds you back. Right now we're being asked, do we want to elevate our vibration, become a vibrational match to the new earth that is high vibrational and full of abundance? Or do we want to be a vibrational match to fear? Do we want to give up our rights because we're scared we're all going to die? What's the point of staying alive if you have no quality of life and all your rights are taken away? That doesn't make any sense. Wake up. I know most people watching my channel already know this stuff. But if you know somebody who's stuck and could benefit from hearing a different perspective of how life could be, then share it. Seriously, we have to understand, don't argue with people who are in the program. Plant seeds, but don't argue. Because when you argue, you push them away, and it's like they're saying there's another wave that's coming, and they're trying to create more fear and stuff, and say they did this. It doesn't matter. Say there's another wave, and say this wave does create more deaths, or they make it look like there's more deaths like they've been doing all along. Then it's going to further divide the people that are in these two camps, because the people with the mask on were like, see, we told you so. It's because you guys have been out there running around with no mask on, running around choosing not to be in fear. You're the reason why all these, it's like they're trying to play us against each other. And that's what's been happening all along in politics and everything. That's why I stay right in the middle. I don't choose a political party. Why would I choose between two shitty candidates anyways? But right now, there's a lot to be observed on the political realm. I really don't want to go into those topics on my channel because I just don't want political debates in my comment section, but I want to keep my comments up. So just be aware is what I'm saying to you. You can't get there from there. You can't get to New Earth 5D timelines by wearing a mask and being afraid and believing everything the media tells you. You're not going to get there. You can't get to a blissful vibration from a vibration of fear. Throw out your television sets because they do not serve you. You know who said something really interesting? I was listening to half of his video earlier. It's Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart. Most people know him. He has millions of followers. But anyways, what was he saying? He was saying, oh my gosh, I just lost it. He said something so valuable. Anyways, he was talking about, he posted a really good video about being rich. And he wasn't talking about financially, although you can tie that in financially. But it's that genuine and authenticity that brings abundance and wealth into your life. It's that service to others that makes you feel rich. Have you ever helped somebody that could do nothing for you? How does that make you feel? It makes you feel so good on the inside. It raises your vibration. And it's just you see people that'll do this, but they'll have a camera in front of them, and then post it on social media. Oh, I helped a homeless person make this whole video about it to try to move people emotionally for their own egoic reasons. And it's just what place are you coming from when you participate in life? Are you coming from a place of integrity and genuine authenticity, and you're just helping people for the sake of helping them and serving them for the sake of serving them? For instance, I don't have to make these videos for free and put them on my YouTube channel, and I've been doing this for 1.5 years now. I don't have to do any of this, but I do it because I know I can help people, and I am called to do it. And when you're called to do something, the universe will always provide for you. When you're serving others and you're coming from your heart space, you open up more abundance in your life. You raise your vibration. You become a match to the 5D timelines. But as soon as you bring in fear, as soon as you bring in doubt, as soon as you refuse to release old programming, as soon as you refuse to release any type of old stale energy, that's just going to keep you dense. It's going to keep you in the lower timelines. And you're going to keep being a part of that reality. Now, even though I live in the same reality as some people who are in on a 3D timeline, it doesn't matter. it's all about how you feel. So what they're feeling, even if you're interacting with that person, is just a lower vibration way. It's not different. We've always been on timelines, but we're trying to get the collective to merge into a higher timeline. That is what's going on right now. That's why light workers are here, you know, doing what they're doing right now, because we're all merging. And it's just one baby step. Like, it's like one upgrade to the next upgrade, and you feel it. And once you really start, you know, once you're really deep into ascension, you'll start feeling it in terms of time. It's almost like life is a dream. Like, I walk around and I just, like, I lose track of days of the week. Time, it's interesting to explain to somebody who's never felt it, because they're like, what are you talking about? You're on drugs. It's like, no, it's like a natural high. Like, that's what being high vibrational is about. Like, that's how it feels. I mean, and it's like, literally, you can feel like, you can, like, for instance, I'm just here at the grocery store. That's when I always make my videos, so I have quiet time. But I can walk into the grocery store and just feel like blissed out for no reason. Just, and I see people walking around masks. I'm around people in fear, and, you know, I just, like, you know, put a prayer and a little bubble of protection around me. You know, I protect my energy before I go places. I'm super, super sensitive. And I definitely did not realize that prior to awakening, and I couldn't understand why. It wasn't that I'm super, like, not extrovert and I don't like socializing. I thought I was introverted because I couldn't handle being around people too much, because I didn't know that I was taking on their energy. I didn't know, like, why all of a sudden do I feel pissed off? Why all of a sudden do I feel sad? Because I was taking all this energy my whole life, and I had no idea. So I had a hard time, like, functioning. I would, like, be off to myself. Like, I was that person in college that always, like, ate lunch by myself. I didn't ever have girlfriends. I would just, like, roam the campus by myself. But I would know people. I would be acquainted with people, but I'd never hung out with people. I didn't go to parties and all that kind of stuff. It was just weird. I was like, oh, I was kind of like organically protecting myself, but I didn't realize what it was at the time because I was asleep. I wasn't conscious like I am now. But now I can protect myself, and so now I can walk in the grocery store and be super high vibe and full of bliss and just spread love and light while I'm in there the whole time, just like blasting people with love and light. That's how I am when I go in public. It's too funny, because sometimes if I'm with Lance, I'll just be telling him. He's just like, you're hilarious. But anyways, like, my point is, you can't get there from there. You can't be sitting in fear and then move into this direction of bliss and happiness and abundance in all areas. You know, like, you're not gonna manifest a soulmate when you're still living in fear. You're not a vibrational match to somebody like that. You don't have enough, like, your self-worth has to match the self-worth of the person that you want to manifest. So where's your self-worth at? Because wherever that's at is probably going to be the same place the vibration that the person that you're in your next relationship is going to be at. And a lot of times we're just we're still in the learning phases, dating people. Like, we're not ready to date people yet, you know, but we're out there married or dating people, and we don't have our self-worth on to the level that it needs to be before we get into a relationship. But we don't know these things. Like, it's not anyone's fault. And a lot of these relationships that aren't our soulmates or who we're meant to be with, they teach us so much. My marriage taught me so much. Life, every mistake I've ever made in life teaches me so much. And people who are programmed have a hard time because they're afraid to take a chance, because they're afraid to fail, because they always want to be seen as perfect, because they don't feel good about themselves, because they have to achieve and they have to fit into this programming in this box that they're supposed to fit in. And it's just like, let go of the reins, because the more you try to control something and force it, the less it's gonna manifest or work out for you. But the more you just ease and flow, it just kind of organically goes into place. Like, it's so effortless. Like, when you raise your vibration, like manifesting money, manifesting a relationship, manifesting anything, happiness, being a good parent, all that, like, it just happens organically. I remember back before I was awake, I was trying so hard. I was trying to homeschool. I got my master's degree, but I never even used it. Like, I was trying to force it, you know, like action, force it, because this is going to make you feel validated. And that shit did not last long. And I never felt like I couldn't get into the homeschool thing then. Why? Because I wasn't feeding myself. How am I supposed to feed my children within that enormous type of way? Because homeschooling's a lot when you have 4 kids. Like, how am I supposed to feed them in the way that they need to be fed when I'm not feeding myself, when I don't feel good about myself, when I thought I had great self-worth? Like, what do I achieve things in life. I have great self-worth, you know, I don't have any issues. It's like, yeah, right. Like, that if you sit there and think that you don't have issues because you've achieved things like that are part of programming, you have the most issues. I know, because I worked through it, and I was trying to force everything. And as soon as I just surrendered, and I was just like, okay, whatever, I'm getting divorced and I don't even know how I'm gonna pay my bills, like, whatever. And it just worked out. And now I have more money than I've ever had, because I have faith. I have faith. And that's the thing. It's just like, when you're wearing a mask and you're sitting in fear, it's just validates your lack of faith within yourself, which is your lack of faith within the universe, because it's all one and the same. When you can just believe and feel it first, that's when you can manifest it. If you're afraid and you're just waiting to see what's going to happen, you're sitting in a low vibration. Well, your reality is going to manifest something that matches your vibration. That's why people say in law of attraction, like, do vision boards and all stuff, because vision boards are all well and good because you can visualize. But what you really need to do is bring in all your senses, especially how you feel on the inside. So when you visualize, really get into, like, you can either get in a meditative state. For me, I can just sit here and, you know, bring up a whole scene in my head. So I'll visualize myself at, you know, this beautiful house in the mountains with a garden, and real simple, but exactly what I like, because I know what I like, because I know me now, right? And I'm in there, but I feel what it feels like to maybe, like, create something in the kitchen, like bake a pie. Like, I'm using my hands and feelings in this vision. Like, really bring all your senses in. Smell the pie when it comes out of the oven. Like, I don't know, maybe your dog runs in the door during the vision and you can smell the dog or feel it lick you, or like touch your children, or like see that soulmate. And when you visualize, if you really want to use the law of attraction and visualize to manifest, you have to feel, you have to taste, you have to touch, you have to hear the giggles of your kids in the yard. Like, when you visualize, you like are in it. It's like a dream, but you're loose. I guess lucid would be the word. You are in it. And if you can keep practicing this, it will help you. It will help you come out of fear, because you're like, okay, now you have to start convincing yourself that it's possible. And then once you get to that place, you tell yourself, okay, it's happening. And then spirit and your intuition will lead you right on the road to the next step, to the next step, to the next step. You don't have to plan it. If you try to plan it, it's not going to work, and it's going to bring more resistance. So just one moment to the next. The spirit will tell you who to call. I'm telling you, and you'll just be, ideas will pop into your head. And then you can just do whatever you need to do. You'll just know it. And that's the hard thing that people, like, it's hard for people to transition from, like, this 3D way of thinking to 5D, because 4D or 5D, because there's that transition there. Like, they're so used to just, like, being in their heads and their egos having the driver's seat, that when the intuition comes in, they have a hard time discerning what is, like, the right thing to do, and then they'll start overthinking. And as soon as you start overthinking, like, don't make a decision based off of overthinking, because that's usually a controlled, forced decision. And it's all about practice. You just practice it every day, even with little stupid things, like just around the house. You can practice, like, manifesting small things. But it's not just about manifesting. It's just about resonating and feeling good about who you are. So then you can start tapping into your intuition. It's hard to, like, use your intuition when you're not a vibrational match to receiving When you're stuck in fear, it's like all you can think about is like what bad thing could happen. Like, you're not coming from the space of how can this be great? How can I twist this pandemic to work in my favor? How can I, there's just so many solutions. There's so many viewpoints, but when you're stuck in a box, you can only see one. And that's very limiting. When the universe is so abundant and it has like a million different timelines you could just hop on and start riding the wave of and like seeing what happens, but you're stuck in a box. You're like hiding in a box with it, and you're like, please tape the top so I can stay safe. It's like, what type of quality of life is that? You gotta get out of the box. You gotta take a chance, and you gotta like live free. If you want to be free, you have to live free, because you are what you what you project, what you put out is what you're gonna get back. I don't mean project in a negative way. I mean like the energy you're putting out is what you're gonna get back. So if I know that I am free, if I know I'm a sovereign being, if I know that I'm a part of this new timeline, this high vibrational timeline, then I'm just sitting here moment to moment, just allowing it to play out. It's that simple. But you got to do the healing work. You got to look at the dark stuff. You got to let go of it. You got to let go of your old stories. You got to let go of the victim mentality. It's letting go, because if you don't let go of the baggage, then how are you going to let the good stuff in? There's no room for it. It's blocking. They're energetic blocks. Clear your energy. Start asking questions. Get on YouTube and start figuring it out, because that's how it works. All the information is on the internet. And if you have a question about a past life regression, YouTube past life regression, start looking at videos. I have video of that, a couple videos about that. That's one of the things I initially got started in, because it showed me that we are infinite. It showed me about incarnation. It's like all these little things, they build up. You're not going to just sit in a weekend and learn all about spirituality. This shit is a journey. You will never stop learning, and the deeper you get, the crazier it gets, the deeper it gets, but it's so much fun. And the joy is in the journey now, because it all has to do with you and remembering who you are. And when you remember who you are, you realize that you're connected to everyone and everything, and so you just look at life so much differently. And then you just want to do things you're passionate about. And then you start making money from things you're passionate about. And then everything starts working out for you. And then you believe everything's working out for you, but you already believe it before. That's why you're manifesting it now. And you just have to get in this flow of just knowingness that all is well. You are divine. There's nothing you cannot be or do or have. Everything's always working out for you. And just feel that. Feel it. And when you get in a slump, that's okay, because you're a human being and that's supposed to happen. Thank you, universe, for allowing me to see an area of place where I can grow. How can I look at this situation that will serve me in a positive way? All right, guys. So a 5-minute video turned into a 28-minute video, but that's okay, because you know what? Whatever needed to be heard will be heard by whoever needs to hear it. Because I always, before I make my videos, I ask Spirit to give the information to whoever is divinely guided to it and needs to hear it. So I love you guys, and just be free, be sovereign, and make that stand for yourself. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to make any change. Don't be afraid to fail, because you win when you fail, and you just don't realize it until you raise your vibration and see things for what they really are. But love and light to all of you guys, and I will be back on again soon.